Today I'm going to show you how I built one of these. This is a 6-lobe circular polarized 5.8 GHz antenna for FPV use. If you just want one of these, go buy a circular wireless one instead. These are great. This is for crashing, building it again, crashing, building it again. To build it, you're going to need some tools. You're going to need some means of cutting wire. You're going to need some means of bending the wire. You're going to need some means of measuring the wire. You're going to need some means of cutting the ping pong ball. You're going to need some means of cutting the heat shrink. You're going to need a soldering iron. You're going to need solder, preferably one that has lead in it. You may need one of these tweezers. You are going to need glue gun. You're going to need this little tool that you can 3D print off Thingiverse. This is the template that I use and that I designed myself. This is the alignment wheel. It has a detachable base. This is the tool for cutting the ping pong ball. You're also going to need some materials. Well, RG402 kilo off eBay. Going to need an SMA connector for soldering. You're going to need some wire, approximately 400 millimeters. If you live in America and you don't know how to measure 400 millimeters, you need one of these. You're also going to need some heat shrink, 6 millimeters diameter. You're going to need a ping pong ball. You're going to need this little base for half a ping pong ball. And as an option, you need this little tool. Let's get started. First you take your tool and your wire. This is 0.5 millimeter copper wire. You can also use 0.8 millimeter MIG welding wire. It's harder to work with, but it's more durable. You use your template to measure the exact length. And cut 6 pieces of wire. Now you take your needle nose pliers, put the wire into the template, make sure that this end aligns with the template, put in your needle nose pliers, push it to the end, like this. Just bend it 90 degrees, like this. same here. 90 degrees. Put it into the template again. We got the basic shape. Now we want to bend this shape to resemble this shape. It's very easy with this kind of wire. If it doesn't fit, you just adjust. Like so. Only 5 more to go. Now you need to decide if you want a right hand or a left hand polarized antenna. If you want a right hand polarized antenna, you simply twist the lobe 45 degrees to the right. If you want a left hand polarized antenna, you twist it 45 degrees to the left. Now you use the alignment wheel. Make sure the angle is right. If it's not quite right, you just adjust it a little bit. This is a right-hand circular polarized antenna. The receiver and the transmit antenna must be the same. Like this. Time to bring up the hot glue. With the hot glue gun, place a small dab of hot glue on each lobe to fix it to the template. Make sure it stays in place. Seven 51.7 millimeters include this little peg. So what we're going to do is first cut about 3 millimeters off. place the peg over the little stump. Now measure 51.7 millimeters. Like this. Now we're going to use some means of cutting to cut about 5 millimeters of the heat shrink. We're going to use this to fix the lobes. Now this is hardened. Carefully remove the base to let the pegs exposed. Now insert the coax all the way like this. And put the heat shrink over. Covering all the pegs. You can use a heat gun. Now be very careful not to heat the hot glue. All you want to do is fix the cable so it doesn't move around too much. It isn't mandatory, but a pair of third hands, helping hands, work great now. Now carefully solder the loops to the cable. And be sure it doesn't move. Might want to let it cool a bit because this is very hot now. Next, all the loop endings. Need to go into the hot glue has melted a bit, so I'm gonna wait a while for it to cool down again. Now, all the loops endings need to go to the center core of the cable. Now they all meet. Solder them. And check the loops. They seem okay. So now it's time to remove the hot glue. You can just peel it off, but you risk bending the wires a bit, so there's a trick to it. You can use some isopropyl alcohol, or just alcohol, dab it on the hot glue. Like this, and remove the antenna. Now remove the little piece of heat shrink. Like this, make sure the antenna is aligned. And if it doesn't fit perfectly, you need to align the antenna. Now for best result, you need to solder these ends too. There's a risk that the lobes will fall off, so you need to be careful. Now we let it cool down a bit because we're going to put on some heat shrink next. Ten to 15 millimeters. Like this. Being careful not to melt the solder. Now we need another piece for the other end. We're going to put that all the way up so it doesn't shrink till we want it to. Then we take our little base for the dome, put it on, because that won't fit once we have put on the SMA connector. We are going to fix it with hot glue in a moment. As you see, the lobes align perfectly. Now you can use your pliers, or you can use one of these. Tiny amount of solder on it. Heat it and heat this little peg too. Push it all the way up, like this. And now it's fixed. The only difference between SMA and RP SMA is this is a peg with an SMA, and with a RP SMA it's hollow. So now we put on the sleeve here, like this. Make sure it's all the way in. It's easy to see because the peg is almost, or well, is flush with the SMA connector. Now we heat both the cable and the SMA connector and apply some solder. It flows nicely. Like that. Now the heat from the SMA connector actually shrinks the heat shrink. Like this. Almost done. Now while we're waiting for my heat gun to heat up again, let's cut the ping pong ball. Ping pong ball has kind of a seam into it, where the two halves are connected, and you would think that cutting it there would be the best thing, but actually it's really hard to cut the seam because there are two layers. So what we're going to do is place the ping pong ball into the cutting template with the seam going this way. Place the other half on top. Now we can make a perfect cut. Like this. Two perfect halves. There's a hole. Let's get it out. This one will fit perfectly on top. First, we are going to secure the antenna with hot glue. I like to put, well, actually always have a glass of water handy because your fingers are going to be really hot when you handle the hot glue. So I like to put some down here. Like this. Just wetting my finger, adjusting the outcome. It won't stick to your finger as long as it's cold and wet. And it shouldn't influence the antenna, like this. So now, make it straight. And apply hot glue to the base. With wet fingers, mold it. It's pretty hard to see because I'm working with the camera. Like this. Once it's cooled down, you can apply some more. Once again shaping it. Like this. So now we can put the cap on and we're almost done. Like this. To secure it, because it's going to fall off when you crash your tricopter or your multi-rotor of any kind, you dab small drops of CA around the edge and it will stay on. But this doesn't look as good as it could, so we're going to use a permanent marker, simply color it in.